Okay, so here's the deal. I recorded this a couple days ago, but the audio, like the beginning was messed up, so the audio was out of sync with my mouth, and it was really annoying, and I didn't want to try to edit it and make it look good because it wouldn't have looked good. But I also don't want to have to re-record the whole thing and re-say it all, so I'm just going to play the audio right now. So the audio records onto like this, and then the video is just going to be me kind of making faces and shit. So yeah, we can have fun with that.
Out. Hi. Today I'm going to recap Degrassi Can't Tell Me Nothing Part 2, which came out or aired in the US on 2012. Yeah. Season 11, yeah. So, first thing that happened, it opens to like Katie taking codeine, the prescription medication, her mom's medication. And her sister comes in and is like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm refilling mom's prescription. It's okay." And her sister is like, "No, I just saw you do that." And her sister is like, "No,
Oh,
you just saw me do that like 2 hours ago. So that's not what you're doing." And Katie's like, "Fine, you caught me. I'm actually taking prescription drugs." And her sister's like, "Why?" And Katie's like, "Because the doctor told me I couldn't, so I am." And her sister's like, "You realize it's not making me feel any better about this, that your doctor said no and you're doing it anyway." And Katie's like, "Yeah." And then her sister's like, "I'm fine, I won't tell. And so, and then later, Jake is like setting up something in the gym for like the coffee house thing, and Katie comes and like gets on like this machinery thing, and like gets gets messed up and she gets stuck on it or something. I don't know why that has anything to do with anything, but I think it's just because she's stressed and she thinks she can do everything and she can't, so it gets messed up. And then later Fiona comes in to Marisol and Katie talking about the coffee house thing, because Marisol has a sign and she spelled coffee wrong with only one F. And Fiona comes in and she's like, "I've submitted this idea and now you're using it as if it's Marisol's idea, and you need to give me credit." And Katie's like, "I'm sorry, I had no idea. Like, I swear, we really need your help, so you can help us, it'd be great." And Fiona's like, "I don't think so. Ta-ta for now. I'll get you back," and all this shit, and she just leaves. I'm just like, "Okay, bitch." Then Katie tells Drew that she's been taking the meds, and he's just kind of like, you can tell he thinks it's a bad idea, but he's just kind of like, "I guess I'll support you. I know it's just for like now and stuff," because he's not gonna be like, "No, don't take it," because he knows it wouldn't help. So he like gives her baby back right to class and then move on. And later she is going to practice, and she walks out the front door of like the school, and there's like this cheerleading, like a group of like 15 people who are like, "Yeah, go Katie, good luck," and stuff, that Drew and Marisol set up to like support their friend or whatever. And then, and including her sister and everything, and then they go to practice, or the tryout or whatever, and Katie's like, practicing, like, saying how her knee still hurts and stuff, and the medicine's wearing off and things, and she's like, "I just need to stretch it." So she walks, and all of a sudden, like, she hears a crack, and she just falls, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And she's like, "I don't know, take me to the hospital." So they take her to the hospital, and at the end, she comes home, and her mom and sister and, like, I guess dad or someone are, like, throwing her, like, a party. Like, there's, like, balloons. There's only, like, 4 people. It's, like, a little, like, surprise celebration thing. And she's like, "You know, I didn't make the team, right? Like, I have to get surgery, and I'm not gonna be able to be on the team. So, like," and they're like, "I know, but this is celebration for your recovery and stuff." And then her sister's like, "Yeah." And then Katie's like, "What am I supposed to do now?" And her mom's like, "It's your senior year. Spend your time on student council and with your friends and with Drew and stuff." And then her sister's like, "We're in rehab." And Katie's like, "What?" And then her sister's like, "You know, for your knee after you get surgery." And she gives her this look, like, whatever. And Katie's like, "Right." And the screen goes black. So it's like really ominous, as if she's going to keep taking drugs or something, which I think might happen. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, Jenna is like performs this song, singing this song that she wrote about Casey that's like darker since Jake told her to make a darker song. And Casey overhears in the hallway, and Jake's like, I like it. It's less sparkly, or whatever the word he used was. And then later in class, Casey's all pissed, and he reads a poem about Jenna, about how she's an evil witch or something, and she's like really insulted. And then she was thinking about not performing it because Jake was like, I hate to be the guy you sing that song about, but whatever. And then Jenna was pissed about the thing, and she was kind of like, whatever, like, it's a good song, so I'm going to sing it anyway, because she was kind of annoyed that he read the stupid poem about her. So she went to the coffee house thing, and she performed it, and everyone loved it, and everyone was like, yay, Jenna! And then later, at the end, Jenna was talking to Jake about it, and Casey comes, and he's like, it's okay that you sing the song. The poem was rude, and, like, I have no reason to get upset for you, so that's your passion, and you writing the poem was just me being bitter and upset, and we need to move on, and you're right, and all this stuff, and, yeah. And then they shook hands, and they were like, yay, happiness, because it was awkward, but not that awkward, and it was all good. Yeah, and then it was black. While all that was happening, Tori and Tristan and Zig, the stupid freshmen, that only one of them is actually a decent actor, and that's Zig, and he hardly even says anything because he's all quiet all the time because the other two are annoying as fuck. But, they're like, let's perform a thing at the coffee house thing. And then Zig is like, I guess. And then so Tori and Tristan performed that little thing that they did at some camp or something, and Zig is like, we are going to get laughed off the fucking stage. He doesn't actually say that, but you know that's pretty much what he's getting at. And he leaves, and Tori's like, he's so mean. Like, she just makes this face, like, not cool. And Tristan is like, how dare he think that we're not cool and all this stuff. And then later in class they're talking, and Zig is like, or before, Zig was like, and Zig, before he left, was like, well, okay, and Zig, before he left, was like, it's not even a part for me, so you guys can just do it without me, and it's all good. And they were like, what the fuck, the whole point was that we all do this together, duh. And so later in class, they're all talking, and Tristan comes up to them, and Tori's like, Zig wrote like a rap part, so it can be like, Tristan and Zig are fighting over me, and it can be really cool for the thing. And Tristan's like, no. We wrote it the way it was, and everyone at camp liked it. And Zig was like, don't you think it's just kind of campy, and it's not very good for high school? And Tristan flips a fucking shit, and it's like, you can't call me campy, what the fuck? And I'm like, is that even a real word? That's not even an insult. Who gets insulted by that? I can't. He annoys me. Tristan and Torio, two most annoying fucking fucks. So, and then later, like, after school, Tristan's sitting somewhere, and, like, with his face in his hands, all whining and crying and shit. And his brother, Owen, walks by, who I actually really think is really hot now. I just think he's kind of a creep, but I want his baby for a little bit. But he walks by, and he sees, Tristan, and is like, now what? And Tristan, like, tells him the situation, and Owen's like, tells him the story about when he was a kid. He did, like, some kind of performing thing, and he made everyone on the block watch, and Owen had to threaten everyone to, like, act like they liked it so that Tristan didn't get embarrassed. And then Tristan's like, what's your point? And Owen's like, sometimes you need to adapt instead of, like, always doing what you want, because as you grow up, things are going to change, and you need to change with it. Good advice. And so Owen's like, or not Owen, Tristan is just kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever. Next scene, they're at the coffee house, and they're like talking or something, I don't remember. And then Owen goes on, what do you call him, Owen? They're like talking or whatever. And Tristan goes on stage, and he starts playing his little ukulele thing with some like recording, so I don't know if it was actually him playing or not. And then he sings a song, and he like looks at Tori when it gets to her part, and then she comes up, and she stands up, and she walks to the stage to sing her part. And then when it gets to the rap part, he looks at Zig, and is like, I think Zig has some rhymes to drop or something. And so Zig does his little rap thing. And then at the beginning, when just Tristan was performing, everyone was booing him. But then Zig does this really bad rap, and everyone's like, yeah, awesome! And I'm like, still wasn't good. And so then that's that, and they're like, yay, happiness, and then so. It wasn't a very great episode, in my opinion. It was kind of anticlimactic, I guess, but there's always episodes like that every show. So, yeah. Subscribe, like, comment, message me, follow my Twitter. I don't have Twitter. my Tumblr, my Facebook, do whatever. Oh, not my Facebook. I don't want to get my Facebook out. But yeah, so I will see you next week. Bye.
That was all. I hope you had fun watching me be retarded. I hope you actually heard some of what I was saying. If not, subscribe anyway. Peace, bitches.